This program is brought to you by LinkTV for educational and non-commercial use only.
Russia's invasion of Georgia makes headlines across the Middle East. What does it mean for Arab states? Are oil prices behind it? And what's the connection with Israel? Answers to these questions and more on LinkTV's Mosaic Intelligence Report.
It is very unusual in the Middle East to turn on the television or read a newspaper without finding a major story about a new development in Iraq, Lebanon, Iran, Israel, and Palestine. However, this week was different. The crisis in the Caucasus stole the headlines, but it was not for lack of important news in the Middle East. Just recently, Lebanon was rocked by another devastating explosion. Tensions over Kirkuk continue, and the death of a Palestinian legendary poet brought tears to millions. But it was the Russian-Georgian confrontations which remained an important story, with most news editors in the region linking the crisis in the Caucasus to what is happening in the Middle East. What goes around comes around. This is how one of the editorials in a major Arab newspaper described the Georgian ordeal. The writer went on to poke fun at Georgia for having to withdraw its troops from the occupation of Iraq, which it obviously approves of, to try to prevent a possible occupation of Georgia, which it seems to consider a bad idea.
Do they have to destroy and attack a civilized world like the Mongolians did? They don't want Abkhazia, nor Skinvale, not even Georgia. They just don't want the freedom, and that's why they want to stamp on Georgia and destroy it.
On a very popular talk show on Al Jazeera, a guest dismissed the Russian incursion into Georgian territories as having nothing to do with the vicious conflict over South Ossetia, but rather with the price of oil. According to him, with oil prices having dropped from $145 a barrel to $115 in just 2 weeks, only an armed conflict could push prices higher. This is a great benefit to both Russia's economy as well as those oil-producing countries in the Persian Gulf. This has yet to be proven true. Meanwhile, there is no exciting debate or conversation on Arab TV that does not discuss the US doubled standards in the region. Arab commentators had a field day with the president's statements declaring the Russian invasion of Georgia disproportionate and unacceptable, and that great powers should not go about toppling governments in the 21st century as if he had never done such a thing. There was also the Israeli connection. However, this debate did not start in the Arab, but rather the Israeli media. According to the Jerusalem Post, Israeli companies sold military equipment to Georgia worth approximately $300 million. The story then took off in the Arab media when the story of a Russian jet downing an Israeli-made drone in Georgia was reported, as well as the role that retired senior Israeli officers have played as advisors to the Georgian security forces. Both Arab and Israeli media reported that the Georgian Defense Minister, David Gezavarchili, is a Jew who attended high school in Israel.
I looked the man in the eye. I found him to be very straightforward and trustworthy. I was able to get a sense of his soul.
Something everyone in the Middle East wondered was, what did President Bush really see when he looked in Putin's eyes? I'm Jamal Dajani for the Mosaic Intelligence Report. To learn more about this program or to share your thoughts, visit us at linktv.org/mosaic.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now!, here to ask you for support for Mosaic, world news from the Middle East. You know, in media news, a new study shows that corporate news coverage of the Iraq War has dropped sharply in the last 4 months. According to the Project for Excellence in Journalism, the Iraq War accounted for just 15% of news coverage, 19% of the network evening newscasts. We need more coverage of the Middle East, not less. We are talking right now about living in a time of war, and it is up to us in a democratic society to decide what to do about that. Mosaic provides information from the Middle East, from countries in the Middle East, from a Middle Eastern perspective. It is invaluable. And right now they need $200,000 to continue their work, to continue their coverage, to bring you their fall lineup of this essential program. The number to call to make your pledge is 866-485-8848. That's 866-485-8848. You can also pledge online at linktv.org. Please pledge as much as you can. Information is power. When you have information, you are empowered to do something about it. That's what Mosaic provides. Again, they're trying to raise $200,000. In order to do this, you can be a small or large part of that. Pledge 25, pledge 50, pledge 200, pledge 500. Mosaic needs you. If you've needed Mosaic for information, now they're asking you to help them reach their goal. That number again is 866-485-8848. That's 866-485-8848. Make your pledge, make it now. You can also pledge online at linktv.org. That number is the lifeline for Mosaic, 866-485-8848. Make the call that makes the difference. This is viewer-sponsored media. You are the engine of this program. Mosaic provides a unique perspective from many different countries in the Middle East. Please give your support to independent media, 866-485-8848. And thanks so much.
This program was brought to you by LinkTV for educational and non-commercial use only. LinkTV is the only U.S. television network devoted to global and national news, with uncompromising documentaries and diverse cultural programs which connect you to the world.